We've got some international history on our hands, and with Game 1 not until Thursday, we've got plenty of time to analyze and overanalyze.
Oh, yeah.
King overanalyzer Greg Anthony with us here today. GA
Guilty as charged.
NBA champion Brendan Haywood. I'm Jared Greenberg. Crazy that this summer's two most coveted free agents are on the Warriors and Raptors, the two teams that will play in the NBA Finals this year. So let's begin with how we got here for Toronto. Think about the gamble that Masai Ujiri, GA, took last summer by not only trading away DeMar DeRozan to acquire Kawhi Leonard, but also in firing the coach of the year in the NBA, Dwayne Casey. Looks like it's played out pretty well.
About as well as it could, really, if you think about it. And it was a tremendous gamble to replace Dwayne Casey, who had had so much success, the most successful stretch that franchise had ever had, and then to trade away, a native son, if you will, in DeMar DeRozan, who had become the all-time best player, arguably in franchise history. But nobody's talking about those two right now because of what Kawhi Leonard and this new version of the Raptors have been able to accomplish.
I definitely agree with Greg right there. Masai took some gambles, but all those gambles paid off. Some people were critical of it. Myself, I didn't really know how this would work. I thought gambling on Kawhi, a one-year rental, and trading away DeMar, somebody that's been an all-star who all of Toronto loved and embraced. I was like, I don't know if this is the right move. But that's why I'm sitting here. And besides pulling the big time strings, he gets paid the big bucks. He did an excellent job, put this team together. They've come together quite well. Kawhi has led them somewhere where they've never been before. They have a great chance to win this series.
Well, Saturday night, after clinching that spot in the NBA Finals, Raptors president Masai Ujiri was looking and feeling pretty good, and he didn't mince any words when he called Kawhi Leonard the best player in the league.
Whoa!
And in case you were wondering, Kawhi confirmed there's absolutely no chance that those words were going to his head and affecting his ego.
I don't really judge my, game like that. I'm more of a team aspect, see what my team is doing. Just want to win. I don't care about being the best player. I want to be the best team. I always said that. And, just before the season when we made the trade, Masai felt that way about me. He told me how he felt and why he made the trade. And it's turning out. It's turning out well now. I mean, we're in the finals and we're not done yet.
Okay, well, our next topic here as we look ahead to the NBA Finals comes with a big asterisk. I understand that. We don't yet know the status of Kevin Durant, when and if he will play at all. And we'll talk a little bit more about Durant later on in the show. But B. Wood, factor however you want to factor this in. Where does Kawhi Leonard rank among the best players in the NBA Finals in 2019?
In the NBA Finals, you said we're factoring Kevin Durant in?
However you want to do it. This is your world, B. Wood. We're just living in it.
I like the way you said that, man. I'm glad you started seeing things my way. It is my world. But if we're going to factor in Kevin Durant, I think I would have Kevin Durant as the number one player in this series. Then I would put Kawhi in. And then I would put Steph number 3. I know that's not going to be popular to some people, but because of the aspect of offense and defense that Kevin Durant and Kawhi both give you, I think that's where I would go. So for me, I would have Kawhi as the second best player in this series behind Kevin Durant. But there's a strong chance Kevin Durant might not play, might be injured or hobble. So we might be looking at Kawhi being the best player in this series.
Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate because I like to. I think you could make a strong argument for Kawhi if Durant plays. Because, listen, you can never take away the greatness of Kevin Durant. I mean, I think he might be the most underrated superstar ever.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit for how great he is.
Wow.
But having said that, when you look at because it's easy to forget how good Kawhi Leonard was. He was a Finals MVP as well.
Yeah. He
was on his way potentially. He had, 23, 24 in that game before Zaza Pachulia undercut him to basically end his San Antonio run. He had the load management. But when you look at his ability to score it, he's as efficient as almost anybody else in terms of the top superstars in our league. But he is by far, and Draymond Green gets a lot of credit, and he is a terrific defender. But in my estimation, Kawhi Leonard is the best defender in basketball. I mean, that guy is incredible. And if you ask the superstars in our league, they may not say it publicly, but I guarantee you none of them like being guarded by Kawhi Leonard. He is that much of an impact on the game.
So to clarify, Kawhi Leonard is the most underrated superstar.
No, I was talking about Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, I think, is the most underrated I don't think he gets enough credit when you look at the plethora of greats of all times. I think because being in LeBron's generation, I don't think we value him enough. But when it's all said and done, when you look back, I think he will capture the spot that he should have, because that guy is incredible as well.
I think a lot of people gloss over Kevin Durant's greatness because a lot of people didn't like his decision.
Yeah.
And they hold that against him. They didn't like the move to Golden State. Whether you liked it or whether you love it or you hate it, you still got to respect what he has done since he's been there and how he has been a major factor in them winning.
Like it or hate it, we're going to show you the season series from the Raptors and the Warriors. And the reason why I say like it or hate it is because you could probably throw this out the window, considering that neither team played either game at full strength. There was no Curry in the first matchup. There was no Kawhi in the second matchup. So we don't really know what we can learn, if anything, from those two games. But let's start here with the Raptors. GA, what will be the most important factor for the Raptors in the NBA Finals?
I'm going to go with transition defense. Now, it's not sexy to say that, but the Golden State Warriors, through this dynastic run, they have been the best team I've ever seen at taking advantage of your mistakes, whether it be live ball turnovers or bad shots, which are in essence live ball turnovers as well. Sure. And they are terrific at this. Here's an example, not a good shot. They're able to get out. Look at Pascal Siakam. He identifies the ball. Now, he's on the right wing where Andre Iguodala is. Now, they missed Steph Curry on the left wing. But how about him guarding that three and able to recover and block the shot? Wow. That length and athleticism makes you uncomfortable. Here, this is a live ball turnover. But look at the sprint to get back. And even though Klay thinks he already knew he had problems because he went for the reverse, forces another miss. Again, here, not a bad shot by Ibaka, but he doesn't get it. Another transition opportunity, this time with Durant. They've got their load management right there. As you can see, they're there trying to be prevented, and they get the strip and force the turnover. So those plays, to me, are going to be vital, because I think Golden State lives off of mistakes. And they kill you like none other with threes in transition with Klay and with Steph. If you can minimize those possessions where you're not giving them 12, 15, 18 points a game off of your careless mistakes, it gives you an opportunity to have success in the series.
What's the most important factor for the Raptors?
Well, I love your fact about transition, D. I think that's very important. But guess what is equally important? How are you going to handle the screen and roll with Steph Curry and the Splash Brothers? How you handle that, I think, will be what dictates this series, especially for Toronto. They have to be up at the level of the ball. You see right here, Chris Paul, not behind the three-point line, up at the level of the screen, making sure he's well above it. Look at P.J. Tucker. He gets into Steph Curry's space. He's challenging Steph Curry, forcing him to take a tough contested two. That is the shot that you want Steph Curry to make. He's very capable of hitting it, but that's how you have to play defense. You have to be up at the level. Once again, you see Gordon right here. He's up at the level of the screen. P.J. Tucker comes off. Aggressive switch. Now, this Houston could be a little bit better defensively. Both guys should be loading up so that Draymond can't get downhill. That is an adjustment you will have to deal with, the Steph Curry-Draymond pick and roll. Capella does make a great play at the rim, though, but the load up will be important. Toronto's going to need to do that. And this is an important play right here because Capella moving his feet well. Steph Curry's still going to hit the shot, but when he gets the switch there, Capella is a big that is up to the level. We call that switching to touch. When you switch, you can't take a step back. Most bigs, when we switch screen and rolls, we like to do the opposite. We like to take a step back, space guards out, give them space to take their jumper, and then we try to contest late. With Steph Curry, you have to be up at the level, switch, force him to drive to the basket, and hope your teammates are able to help you out. This will be very important because Marc Gasol doesn't have the foot speed of somebody like a Capella, and what he does in the screen and roll will dictate how many minutes he gets in this series and how the series will be played out.
We'll talk about some personnel pairings a little lot later on in the program, but GA, let's flip it and go to the Warriors here. What is the most important factor for them?
Health. I mean, they basically have three starters that we don't know about. Right. And they're not just any starters, right? DeMarcus Cousins, Kevin Durant, and Andre Iguodala, who, oh, by the way, has also been a Finals MVP. So not knowing whether they're going to play and how effective they can play. I just think that this team, Toronto, unlike Houston, who is a great defensive team as well, they don't have the length, though, Houston, or the athleticism that this group does. And so I think this series is where you want to have the greatness of Kevin Durant, the impact on the interior from a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, and obviously also Andre Iguodala.
We're going to ask you for predictions later, but do you feel the Warriors need Kevin Durant to win this series?
Listen, they're a great team. They can beat anybody, but I do think that this is a series where his value will show the most of any they've played this season.
All right, most important factor, B. Wood, for the Golden State Warriors.
I think the most important factor is definitely the Splash Brothers and how they play. We saw them, when Kevin Durant go down, we saw them win 5 games in a row. And it's because Klay Thompson and Steph Curry stepped their level up. Steph, this was the best version of Steph I have ever seen as far as playoff Steph Curry. He really took his game to the next level. Their shooting, decision-making, playmaking ability, the way they stretch the court out, the way they move without the ball is so important to what they do offensively. Just having those guys on the court and what they do motion-wise, that gets everybody else involved. That gets Draymond Green when in the screen and roll areas where he's able to get downhill and get those 2-on-1s at the rim. Gets guys like Looney open, guys like Sean Livingston. So the Splash Brothers, how they play, their decisions, when they decide to take tough shots, when they decide to defer to their teammates, and more importantly, their spacing on the court and taking the tough shots in the clutch, that will be key to the series.
B. Wood, it's so funny that coming into this series against Portland, we wondered if the bench and the others were going to be enough. And then we come out of that series saying maybe we overlooked them. But did we overlook them, or did just Steph and Klay and Draymond playing so well make everybody else that much better?
That's what great players do.
Yeah.
Like, guys like myself and GA, we played in the league a long time, but we were great role players, and we were fortunate to play with some stars. And stars make role players' jobs easier. And that is exactly what Steph, Klay, and Draymond did. They made life a lot easier for guys like Looney, Bell, Jerebko, and all those guys that came off the bench. They didn't have to worry about doing anything they couldn't do. Yep. Just play within the system, set some screens for us, we'll get you open, we'll make the tough plays. You just make sure you finish and make the right basketball play. And we saw all those guys on the bench get very valuable minutes, and I think everybody at a certain time in that series that came off the bench had an impact.
All right, as you see on the bottom of your screen right now, our NBA Finals coverage live from Toronto begins on NBA TV Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. Pacific with media availability. You'll want to join us live from Toronto. Coming up next, we will talk about Golden State Warriors injury list. Plus, how do these guys think the Warriors are going to defend Kawhi? We'll talk about it next.